What's going on, everyone? Superstar Steve here again, here for another episode of One Take Live. Today we're talking about the Elimination Chamber 2017 WWE pay-per-view event. Watched that last night, so I've got my thoughts together about what I think each of the matches and leading into WrestleMania and what's happening there. As you can see on the screen right now, I've got some Battlefield 1. I played a lot of Battlefield over the weekend. Had some alright matches, had some not so alright matches, so I saved all the gameplay nonetheless. Some of the matches won't be great, some of the matches will be alright. I'll put them up over the next couple of weeks, as I've got a lot of games saved up. So, yeah, I hope you like the video, hopefully I've done something good in it. Let's get into it. The first match on the card was Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. I thought this match was alright, didn't have too much heat between the two, I guess. It was a good way to kick off the pay-per-view with high intensity. The fans love Becky Lynch coming out, so I think they got right behind her. She ended up getting a quick roll-up victory, which I believe isn't convincing enough to move on yet, and I think they're going to go another time. It gives the premise that a rematch is on the cards because there was no convincing decisive winner there, with Mickie James dominating for most of that match. So both girls worked well. I didn't see too much that I disliked. Yeah, I'll leave that one there. The next one was Apollo Crews and Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler. Blah. So this one kicked off with Apollo Crews coming out, then Kalisto coming out, and Dolph Ziggler jumping Kalisto on the way to his ring, on the way to the ring. So I like that. It was very heelish of Dolph to do that. The thing about it, though, is the crowd was really into Dolph as the favorite here. And that just goes to show how underdeveloped Apollo Crews and Kalisto's characters are. Kalisto was getting over earlier in the year, late last year, when he was versing Baron Corbin, and they had high-intensity matches. But since then, neither of Apollo or Kalisto really had any babyface-type roles, and as such, the crowd was really on Ziggler's side. It ended up being Ziggler and Apollo for most of the match. Eventually, Kalisto comes down to the ring, stumbles down to the ring, I might add. One thing I didn't like is that he stumbled all the way down the ring, took him forever to get there, and then as soon as he got in the ring, did all of his acrobatic tricks and moves, and completely no-sold the injury which he was having down the ring. So I didn't like that bit at all. Of course, Apollo and Kalisto ended up getting the win on Ziggler. After the match, Ziggler ends up beating up Kalisto and Apollo with a steel chair. So quite the heel move. However, the crowd was really into Ziggler. I think his transition from babyface to heel was really natural, and I liked his transition. The other two characters, though, they just underdeveloped. The crowd didn't really know what they're about, so they're not on this side. And they were, at the end of the match, they were saying "Thank you, Ziggler." They were chanting that. So creative got a little bit to go with getting Kalisto and Crews to a cheerable position. There's no real connection with the Crews at all. At least Kalisto's got a little bit of that fan connection from his earlier work. But Dolph has complete fan connection regardless, because he's been in the WWE so long and he's had some pretty good runs lately. So it'll be interesting to see where they go from there with those three. The next match was the Tag Team Turmoil match, with the 5 tag teams on SmackDown. So it started off with Rhino and Heath Slater versus Fandango and Tyler Breeze. And Rhino and Heath getting the victory there. Out comes... who came next? The Von Villains. Rather quick for them to go away too. Rhino and Heath Slater getting another victory. Then come the Usos. Now, I love what the Usos are doing lately with their characters. They're no frills, no excitement. Come out, be mean, get the job done. Don't pander to the audience. Wear dark colours. Don't be flamboyant. That is everything a heel should be. I wish they'd do that with Roman Reigns. But yeah, the Usos, I love the work that they're doing lately, the last couple of months since they've turned to heels. Their entrance is great, their ring presence is great, they're big, they're physical, They play the heel really well. So the Usos ended up beating Heath and Rhino there and moving on. And next to come was American Alpha. Good little match. I think it was rather quick the way it ended. American Alpha moving on to the next round, eliminating the Usos. But then, of course, because we had the rather undeveloped Ascension coming out next, the Usos beat up American Alpha quite intense. No, that's the wrong word to use. But they beat the crap out of them, basically. To a point where I thought, here we go, we're on. The Ascension are gonna win a match, and they're gonna win the titles. Ascension come out, throw one guy away, hit the other one with the finisher, and he kicks out, which I thought was bizarre to be able to kick out of what the Usos did, and then the finisher. I thought it was all over, but apparently, he got saved by his other man, jumped back in the ring. So, I don't think he would have kicked out, which is luckily that the other guy came in the ring and stopped the pin. And then eventually, the Ascension dominate basically. And then it ends up in about 3 seconds. One gets thrown out of the ring. The other one gets double teamed into a finisher, and the Ascension lose. And I thought, wow, what a way to bury the Ascension any more than you already have. You've got one chance for them to win something decent, and they blew it. So the Ascension coming out of that look absolutely horrible. American Alpha, unstoppable, as usual. I think that they've got a rematch with Usos because of the way the Usos beat them up after the match. And I think that's the logical opponent for them. However, and this is my theory or my tip, I think from NXT, you're going to get the Revival come up. And the Revival have got to go to SmackDown because there's not a lot of tag team talent there. I mean, yeah, they're all tag teams, but there's really only one standout tag team there. So I would like to see the Revival come up, maybe on Thursday, and lead into WrestleMania to have a WrestleMania match with American Alpha. However, I don't think it'll happen. I think the Usos, because of what they did, American Alpha will be mad and they'll try and get the Usos. So that's my tip for what I think is going to happen, and I think it'll be Usos and American Alpha at WrestleMania. The winner will then face a Revival on the next SmackDown, with the Revival coming out and getting into the scene. So the next match was Nikki Bella versus Natalya. Quite a good match, I thought, between these two. It was good to see the women's wrestling getting a lot of spotlight on this show. I like the way they finished the match. They ended up being a double count out. Both women brawling on the outside, basically. It was sort of went back to that Sheamus Cesaro type match where you didn't think it'd be anything, and then it got really physical and really interesting, and double count out and carrying on the feud, and I think that was a good move for this. It shows both women can go. Natalya, I loved her verbal expressions in the ring. She was always yelling at Nikki, always yelling at the crowd, always yelling at the ref. Real true badass, awesome worker, did her job. Bella, well done, you did a great job too. Took plenty of high bumps, worked your ass off as well. You both did a good performance on this show, so I'm looking forward to the next meeting, actually, because they put in such intensity. Later on in the show, they had a background still brawling in the back of the stage, so that really builds into where they're going to go with these two. Maybe some sort of match before Mania, because I don't think it'll be on the Mania card. But yeah, it was a very nice twist to something which I thought would be a one-off. The next match was the Luke Harper versus Randy Orton match. Again, another war. Lots of high spots, plenty of intensity. It slowly built up to a maximum. Eventually, Randy Orton getting an RKO out of nowhere and getting the victory. But both men coming out of this looked like they're a lot stronger. They both certainly gained in momentum and gained in respect from the audience. Very high intensity match. Luke did a great job, I thought. Probably the best he's ever worked solo since being in the main roster. He's finally been given that chance, and I believe he took it. Unfortunately, came off with the loss, but I'm sure he's still going to be in the storyline somehow leading into Mania. I'm just not sure what they're going to do yet. So the next match was the SmackDown Women's Championship match with Naomi and Alexa Bliss. Naomi picked up the surprise victory here. I did not see that coming at all. I thought Alexa would have gone into Mania as the champion, but yeah, Naomi got given the title. So interesting to see where they go with the match. Didn't really have too much concern about it. It was what it was. Both women worked, with the surprise champion. Sorry. Surprise championship change. It'll be interesting to see where they go now. I'm sure Alexa's going to get a rematch somehow. I don't see these two being on the card by themselves for Mania though, so maybe they're going to bring some of the other women into the match. I'm not sure. Maybe some sort of tag team match with Mickie James and Becky Lynch. But yeah, I'm not too sure where they're going to go. I'm sure it'll be interesting regardless. And finally, we've got the Elimination Chamber match. John Cena, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, The Miz, Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin. I love this match. This was a great match, I thought. Quite a couple of different storylines that come out of the match. So we've got Dean Ambrose, who eliminated Baron Corbin by a roll-up. Baron Corbin then proceeding to beat the crap out of Dean Ambrose for doing so. Even though he was eliminated, which then of course caused The Miz to run in and pin Dean Ambrose rather. I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but yeah, caused him to run in, pin Dean Ambrose eliminated as well. So I'm sure you're going to see those two, Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin, feud for the interim title. That could be on WrestleMania, or it might happen a little bit before, but those two are definitely going into scheduled together. The next to get eliminated was The Miz. He had a rather short showing, I thought. He was in the ring for maybe 5 minutes, and then he got eliminated by John Cena. So, not sure where The Miz is going next. It could be to do something with Cena, because backstage, Nikki Bella caused makeup to go all over Maurice while she was fighting with Natalya, and now John Cena pins The Miz, knocking him out of the WWE Championship, so maybe those two have something coming up ahead of Mania. Maybe a mixed tag team match is where they're going. Next you had Bray Wyatt pin John Cena, and the crowd went wild for that because they know they're getting a new champion then. Then we had Bray Wyatt eventually pinning AJ Styles and to gain the WWE Championship. I mean, it wasn't a surprise because Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble, which means going to WrestleMania. Who's going to versus WrestleMania? We've seen John Cena happen before. He needs to break up with the Wyatt family and Bray Wyatt soon, so my thoughts were Bray Wyatt would win, move on to Mania to verse Orton, and that's what happened. Rather predictable, but logical in my eyes. Where that leaves AJ Styles, I'm not sure either. Who's he going to go against? A lot of unanswered questions, because it wasn't really anyone else in the match that caused him to lose. Could he have a dream match with The Undertaker? Maybe. Other than that, I'm not sure who he's going to fight, because they've done John Cena many times. It would be great to have another one, but I think we've seen it too many times. The Miz has got nothing against AJ, so I'm not sure where that would go. I don't think he's going to be put into a triple threat with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. Overall, the match was pretty good. I would have liked to see a little bit more use of the cell, or rather the chamber. Dean got put through one of the walls. That was a spot you'd expect to happen at one stage. A couple of people jumped off the pods. You'd expect that to happen. It was a good match overall, I thought. Everyone involved. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they're leading into WrestleMania. I'm sure Tuesday night SmackDown will give us some more answers. But that's probably all I've got at the moment. I don't think there was anything else. There was James Ellsworth and Carmella in Skybox watching the whole show. They didn't really have a storyline being there. They were just there. So that was weird. Anything else that happened? I don't think so. Didn't watch Talking Smack afterwards. But yeah, so that's a wrap up of the event. I hope you like the gameplay. I don't like the gameplay I put up. I can't remember. Well, I don't know yet if it's going to be good or bad. I've got it saved, but I haven't looked at it. Yeah, so that's about all. I'll got some other ideas from some other videos that I'll put up in the coming weeks. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed the video too. If you like it, leave a like and a comment, or even subscribe. Find me on Twitter at SuperstarSteve1. Thanks for watching, and bye.